thought into what I want to say this evening. So much that I even typed it. The orchestration of events that has taken place on this school board since June of 2009 is nothing short of symphonic, with the director of the symphony being the gentleman sitting in the middle chair of this orchestra. I am well aware of the fact that I may not name specific chair members, but I am also aware of the fact that I can dance around this restriction so that the general public may be able to know who I am referring to. Be forewarned, I have been known to be a very good dancer. The symphony began in June 2009 when a contract for our teachers was approved by the majority of these musicians that this district could not afford to approve. The female doctorate and the longest sitting musician were the only two who said openly that this is the wrong decision, and the longest sitting member even is quoted as saying, fiscally, it's going to hurt the kids in the long run. The symphony continues with a short crescendo occurring on January 2010, when once again the majority of the musicians agreed to another contract that the district cannot afford. This is the contract for the transportation employees. Once again, the only dissenting opinions come from the same two musicians that I mentioned before. Again, the longest sitting member states, I believe, and this is quotes, I believe it's these types of unsustainable decisions that we make that get us into trouble. Our symphony continues at a slow melodic pace until February 2010, when again our conductor makes an attempt to have his musicians agree to the sale of $27 million in bonds with virtually no discussion in a public forum. Luckily, there are townspeople attending this performance, and they begin to sing out when the musicians are not playing the notes the audience wants to hear. At this point in the symphony, our conductor seems to let the music take him to another reality, as can sometimes happen with music, and begins to have his musicians play the melody in his mind. Loud voices in this audience, the bond issue is put to the vote of the people, and the correct melody begins to be played again. Again, the symphony takes a slow melody until December, when one of the musicians decides performing is not his thing and chooses to share this information with the director. Apparently, the CEO of the symphony has some kind of psychic ability and takes it upon himself to engage in the advice of a lawyer as to what one should do if a performer chooses to relinquish his chair for personal reasons. Keep in mind that no official notice of releasing the chair has been given when this legal advice is sought. Knowing that timing is very crucial in a symphonic work, the conductor sees to it that the notice of the chair being relinquished is perfectly timed so that even though auditions were held, the conductor and his musicians get to choose who fills the chair, rather than those in the audience. The final movement of this symphony occurs just this past month, when one of the musicians takes it upon himself to state that contracts may need to be reopened. Keep in mind that the musicians asking for this to occur have virtually ignored musicians and audience members who have been asking for this since June 2009. But now that the conductor's chair is up for reevaluation from those in the audience, he wants to make it appear that his conductor has the best interests of the audience in mind and will do anything to keep his current conductor. All musicians know it is much easier to follow the lead of a conductor who you have worked with for years. Our symphony must end. We must get back to doing the work the audience came to hear. It is time to become a school board again and cease the orchestration.